Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this: them little dudes, they, I like watching them punish. Oh, I probably can't say like punishing people. Yeah.
See those little black boxes? They're called telephones. I'm gonna let you on a little secret about these telephones. They're not gonna dial themselves.
Would you like to ask a question right at this particular time? Would you like to do that?
I've got one phone number and one nickel left. Well, start using it.
Here comes the mailman.
Mail time.
Mail time. Mail time.
The mail's here. When you control the mail, you control information.
Welcome back, Blues Clues Steve. If you hadn't heard the big news yet, Blues Clues Steve, who's part of our intro there, the famous It's Mail Time song, did a video online today. He looks aged. I think he's like 42. And he's like, boy, I haven't seen you guys in a long time. Remember when we used to play with our imagination? And I just disappeared? He was like dad going out for cigarettes and not coming back kind of thing. So he did his apology video. Welcome to the Sleeper Wire Mailsack. We'd never leave you. We wouldn't just disappear. It is the live call-in show brought to you by Sleeper Wire, where we answer your questions about fantasy football. We have a phone number, and we're live. So if you call that number right now, you will jump the line and be able to ask questions to us, to our experts here, who I will introduce in just a second. The phone number, you can write it down, 207-40-SLEEP, 207-407-5337. Type that into your phone, and you will talk with one of the following or all three of the following. Tonight on the show, all three from Sleeper Wire. I've got my performance-based expert back for another year. He decides to get out of the shot as soon as I start talking about him. It's Lucas at Sleeper Wire LBB on Twitter. His name is Primetime. Sorry, Primetime Lucas. Looking good. Looking like you got a Scott Fish shirt there. What is that?
This is an old Scott Fish. Just a little retro from a couple ago, and figured it was about time to put that back on. It's been collecting dust, so it's much needed.
Right. On the other side, we got one half of the, I guess you call them the normal hosting crew for the podcast. That's Natter. He's up there. He's going to be answering your questions. He pushes button. He specializes in contrarian views, as I like to say. You can find him on Twitter at @TopTierTactics_. And then underneath, the other half of the main hosting crew, the number one Australian fantasy NFL writer. And you'll hear his voice all year on the podcast. It is Sheehan, or Sheehan, as you told me earlier. You can find him on Twitter at Sheehan Solo. All right, guys, we already have some phone calls, and hopefully the phones work today. We had a little bit of trouble last week, but let's go ahead and see who is on the line. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, caller. You have called the Sleeper Wire Mailsack. What is your question?
What's going on, guys? Welcome back.
Hey, wait a minute. I think I know who this is. I don't remember the name. I recognize your voice, man.
Gabe.
Gabriel,
Miami.
yes. What's up, Gabe? How you doing, man?
Yes. Hi. Good. So some quick questions for you. So right now I'm deciding between Edmonds and Kareem Hunt, PPR, this week.
Ooh. I mean,
So let me check my rankings here.
I don't know. Did you want to go fancy with Chase Edmonds that early? Or do you want to go with somebody we know is going to at least put up some sort of fantasy points in Kareem Hunt?
I actually have them very, very close in my rankings. And so
Gabe, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Couldn't tell. I hear a lot of it sounds like a playground out there, like you're at a Pee Wee football game or something. Are you
I'm at
scouting?
my son's soccer game.
Dude, are you okay? Thought you were scouting. All right, so the guys are going to hit your question up. You said Kareem Hunt or Chase Edmonds, week 1, right?
Yeah, PPR. Yeah.
PPR. All right. So let's see. The Browns to play the Chiefs. Lucas, is your mic working? Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Cut off for a hot second.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
No,
yeah,
you can't hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think I like Hunt. It's going to be a high-scoring game. Browns are likely to be trailing. Game script's going to look good to get Hunt in the game and get him some easy PPR points.
I'm gonna have to agree. I like Kareem Hunt a lot more than Chase Edmonds. I mean, you already know Kareem Hunt. He's gonna get his. He gets his goal line touches at the same time. Chase Edmonds, he's just an unknown factor. I'd rather stay away from that, especially on the first week of the season.
Yep, Hunt for me as well. Only the Bucks gave up more receptions to running backs last year. Obviously, it's an imperfect system, but it's the best data we have. So give me Hunt in what should be a bit of a shootout.
There you go.
Okay, cool. And then right now I have Jonnu Smith as my tight end, again, PPR league. And then I'm hearing all this buzz about Gerald Everett. He's on the waiver wire. You think he's a pickup, or should I stay with Jonnu Smith?
I wouldn't feel especially confident starting Smith this week. I know he and Henry have both been banged up, and his ankle injury from last year is lingering a bit. Obviously, you've spent a bit more capital to get Smith on your roster. I really like Gerald Everett this year. I think he's going to be their third pass-catching option. They only really took 2 wide receivers in after the end of the cuts. I think it's probably a wash this year, but I think for the security of knowing that it's going to be Everett as the guy each week, as opposed to trying to pick which is a Smith week, which is a Henry week, give me Gerald Everett.
Yeah, neither of them are, in my opinion, very enticing options. But one of them, I'm expecting them to roll out 2 tight ends, and of course, they don't necessarily have a defined pass catcher on the set, on the team, and even a potential pass thrower. I'm going to go on the opposite side and trust Russell Wilson a little bit more.
I was at the opposite side.
I'm not going to disagree.
So here's my issue, though. So you're saying should I drop Jonnu, or should I? The thing is, my bench is there's no one worth dropping for them except for a handcuff to my Antonio Gibson, which is like J.D. McKissick. So what would you guys do there? Unless I just drop Jonnu and just pick up Gerald Everett and just ride with Gerald Everett for foreseeable future.
Yeah, Sheehan, would you drop him? Would you do a straight 1-1?
It's a tough one. According to what I'm looking at here, the Patriots have the 7th easiest schedule for tight ends over the next couple of weeks. But as we said, as I said, struggling with injuries, and you don't know who's going to get the work. So maybe hold him this week, and if he bombs out, then pick him up next week. But I'd probably be happy to go with Everett. Drop him and go with Everett. But as I say, if you spent the draft capital on Jonnu Smith, there's nothing wrong with giving him a go for a week as well.
What about you, Lucas? How do you feel over there?
I'm a little indifferent between the two. I don't think that either of them are going to set the world on fire this week or season long. So I think that you spent the draft capital on Jonnu. I think you have to at least keep him for a week and see how that goes. I know Wilson has connected with his tight ends in the past, and they've been big players. So if it were me, I think that I might go ahead and drop McKissick and have both tight ends, and then kind of see which one, and then possibly drop one of them after a couple of weeks if one of them separates from the other.
Really? So you drop McKissick?
Mm-hmm. I think I would.
He's not the true handcuff for Gibson, so yeah, I think you could say that. So you could drop him. If Gibson went down this week, it'd be a split between him and Patterson.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks for that. And then just one last question: Who do you guys think? I know what the depth chart says, but who is the backup to Austin Eckler?
I think it's Justin Jackson. He looked the best last year.
He did play. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to say, yeah. I don't think there's one guy just slots in and gets the work. I think that you would see a lot of exactly what you saw last season, and you're never going to be comfortable just starting one of the guys.
Justin Jackson would probably be the lead back, but I mean, Joshua Kelly was extremely underwhelming, so I'd have to agree with you there.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, that was all I had. Like I said, thank you for everything, and I'll definitely be calling you guys next week.
All right, Gabe. Thanks for calling in, man. Always good to hear from a loyal fan. Gabe calls in a lot, so always glad to help. Oh, we got another return caller here. I remember this guy from previous shows. It is Oswaldo. Oswaldo, you are on the Sleepwire Mailsack. What is your first question of the new season, buddy?
What's going on? First of all, what's going on, guys? Welcome back.
Thanks, man.
My first question is that I have a trade offer.
That's fast.
Should I pull the trigger? Here it goes. So I have Gus Edwards and I have Higbee. Higbee's my second tight end. My first tight end is Pitt. So I'm really thin at running back. So I got offered Jacobs for those two guys, 2 for 1. What do y'all think about that?
Gus Edwards and Higbee for Josh Jacobs, just to make sure.
Gus Edwards and Gus Edwards and Higbee for Jacobs in the PPR league.
I think I'd rather have Gus Edwards.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't, especially in a PPR. I don't know that that's really much of an upgrade there.
Josh Jacobs doesn't cast patches. There's no Kenyon Drake there. I'm not happy about that.
Yeah, I'd much prefer the Gus bus there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to get Jonathan Taylor from him, but he countered with Jacobs. So I was just like, you know what, Jacobs sounds interesting. I might just pass them. I do have an important question. I gotta drop somebody. I don't know who to drop. So I can pick up a defensive player. Here are my choices. I got Sony Michel on my bench, Dylan, Hubbard, St. Brown, Elijah Moore, Higbee. And I need to drop one guy, unless I just say F it and just roll with what I have and to see what these guys do, you know what I mean, before I drop them.
I don't like Tyler Higbee very much. I think he might be the my drop candidate. I don't know if you guys have a different opinion.
Sean, I'm curious who you think here.
Say that again.
I think Sheehan froze on us. How's he doing over there? He's making a funny face though.
Chuba Hubbard for me, if you can still hear me. We have
Yeah. We're hearing you a little bit there. You're coming.
Yeah, you came in and cut out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot going to happen for Hubbard. I mean, you're hoping that McCaffrey's going to go down. That's just kind of a lottery ticket there. So I think that you can actually get value out of Higbee in some sort of a trade to somebody that doesn't have much going on at tight end. So I think Hubbard would probably be where I would lean.
I could see it.
Okay. Got you. All right. So I think that's about it. What do y'all think about my starting lineup? I got Herbert as quarterback, James Robinson, Gus Edwards, Metcalf as receiver 1, receiver 2, Diggs, tight end Pitts, flex. I got Deontay Johnson. Then I got Trey Sermon as another flex position. should I switch anybody out, like either Trey Sermon or something?
Trey Sermon doesn't entice me. But who's left on the bench that we could potentially? Sorry, can you repeat the bench one more time?
I got Sony Michelle. I got Dylan. I got St. Brown, the Lions receiver, Elijah Moore. Or I could plug in Higbee as well.
I think I'd rather have Higbee or Sony.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think Sony this week against Chicago, or I'm a big fan of Elijah Moore, but it's always hard as a rookie. Sermon's as good as anyone. You could see if your trading partner would budge on Sermon and Higbee for Jonathan Taylor.
I doubt anybody would trade Jonathan Taylor. I can't imagine you trading. I don't know. I mean, you could always try, but I can't imagine a realistic scenario where somebody accepts that trade.
Should I do a 3-for-1? Well, he's a counter with Jacobs. I'm trying to get Taylor from him. I know he's weak at end. That's why I offered him Higbee.
You might have to offer him Pitts if you're wanting to get Jonathan Taylor. It might have to be Pitts and Gus the Bus, because I'm sure he spent a pretty high draft capital to get him. And at this point, I don't think there's many people that a 3-for-1 is going to be very enticing, because they just drafted. So that means that they're going to have to choose 2 of their players they just drafted to drop. So,
yeah, I can't imagine anybody ever trading away Jonathan. They spent a first round on Jonathan Taylor. There's no way you're trading him. At least in my experience, I don't think anybody will ever trade him.
Well,
I don't think so.
Just try it with Pitts first, because you spent, there's more value there.
Okay. All righty, guys. Appreciate it.
You could do it, Oswaldo. You the art of the deal. Use the art of the deal. Thank you for calling, buddy. All right, phone lines are wide open right now, guys. If you want to call in and talk to us with your questions for Week 1 start sit, maybe you already got a trade in the works like Oswaldo did, and you want us to look at your trade or just your general lineup. Maybe you already have a waiver wire question. You're looking ahead like 3 or 4 weeks, strength of schedule stuff, whatever you want to talk about. 207-407-5337, 207-40 sleep on your phone. Just spell it out. Let's take a few questions while we wait for another phone call. Let's see. We got some calls or some questions from the Sleeper app. I put the notice out there today. Mr. Frost was the first one to respond. He says, "Orale, si, senor." So I guess he wants to hear si, senor. And I got a touch screen now on my sound effect. I'm going to try it. Check this out.
Si, senor! Si, senor! Si, senor! Si, senor!
All right, that was for Mr. Frost. Park had a question. This was a couple days old, so he maybe already know what he wants to do here, but it is a trade question. His Keenan Allen for my Kittle. Would you guys do that trade at all? Seems like a lot of the comments already were saying don't do the trade. What do you think?
It depends on the type of format, but I'd rather have Keenan Allen than George Kittle.
Well, and when it's just this basic, though, if we're just talking from a pure value standpoint, but I need to know who are you going to play at tight end if you get rid of Kittle, and I need to know how weak are your wide receivers. Yeah. What are you moving out to? So what's your upgrade at wide receiver to get Keenan Allen versus what your downgrade is going to be over Kittle? So I'm probably going to lean no without having more information. Now, if you have a really good second tight end, then you think you can probably go ahead and do that. You could probably get a slightly better wide receiver than Keenan Allen, but that's where I'm at.
Sheen's making a funny face again because his computer screen froze.
Oh, love it.
Punched out. He's going to come back in. Sugar Booga 87, Stafford or Trevor Lawrence? Let's look at this in the frame of, let's say, first 4 weeks. Are you trusting Trevor Lawrence straight off the bat, or do you feel good about Stafford's position right now?
I'll take Stafford throughout the whole year. Lucas, I'll let you.
I think Stafford is in a pretty good spot here also. But actually, this week, I think I would rather play Trevor Lawrence.
And the question was Stafford or Trevor Lawrence. We're kind of looking at it as a season long. But if you have opinions like beginning of the season towards, middle, maybe Trevor Lawrence, does he appeal to you later on in the season when he gets more used to things? Or what are your thoughts on these two players?
I'd like Lawrence this week against Houston, but Stafford basically every other week after that until Lawrence plays Houston again.
Okay. Nice.
It's just such a juicy matchup. It really is.
Yep.
All right. Yes, T wants to know which two wide receivers do I keep as starters every week? So it's a half-point PPR. We'll just assume that you're going to start two of these and maybe he can throw one in the flex, but let's just lock down his every week starters. T. Higgins. Every week. I don't know why he put this in here. T. Higgins, Jacoby Myers, Corey Davis, Chenault, Callaway, and Waddle.
I guess matchup purposes, Chenault against Houston probably be one of the better options. And then T. Higgins against Minnesota would probably be also the second best matchup I would be attacking. But this is a very weak wide receiver core.
Yeah, there's not two in there that I would say every week you can lock in. This is going to be a shuffled. Yeah.
I think there's an argument for Callaway against Green Bay. Green Bay weren't a great defense last year, and the Saints are going to have to keep up with Rodgers. I'm a big fan of Myers. He'll see a lot of targets. He really still can't catch the ball. He catches like he's played quarterback most of his life, which makes sense. But Higgins is the only one I would consider as probably a weekly locked and loaded starter. Everyone else here playing the matchups.
Yeah, well, with Callaway, if Jair Alexander follows him around, then I would stay away from that matchup.
True.
Yep.
All
so
right,
it's going to Higgins. Yeah, go ahead.
Higgins is the only guy we really feel good about. Otherwise, it's going to be call every week. So call in, yes, T, with your matchups every week. Raiders 32-16. I have okay. So this is a drafting question. Unless this guy's drafting tonight, this question might be old. But I have fourth pick non-PPR, so standard. What are your thoughts? I'm hoping for Henry. Yeah, I think everyone here, if you can get Henry fourth overall, they'd be down for that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. The only people in front of him that are going to go is McCaffrey, Cooks, Kamara. I mean, if you could land any of them other than Derrick Henry, that'd be phenomenal. But Derrick Henry is definitely going to be there for you.
Yeah. Matt, you're the only person in the world who still plays standard. Surely Henry's the 101.
No. McCaffrey will always be the 101.
I think you said that last week in standard. I think you said you would go Henry overall first, didn't you?
You can make a case for it, but I would still take McCaffrey.
All right. Gordito, streaming tight ends weekly. If you don't get a top 6 tight end, which heavily unrostered guys to pick up for week 1? So we're looking at week 1 streaming tight ends if you didn't land somebody good here.
Jared Cook.
I'm going to go with our man Gabe and say Gerald Everett.
I like that. Maybe Cole Kmet.
I like Cole Kmet. I agree with that one.
All right, so you got 3 there, Gordito. Gordito also wants to know less than 35% rostered running backs to pick up as insurance. So if you guys, 35% is a specific number. I don't know how quickly that is to pull up, but let's say guys that
Mark Ingram
haven't been drafted at all.
Ty Johnson. I think he's also a very good one.
Yeah, I agree with Natta. He's not even insurance. I think he's going to be the guy, and he's probably on your waiver wire right now. If you're looking for someone as insurance, Jarrett Patterson for Gibson. But as we said earlier in the show, if Gibson were to go down, it's going to be a split between Patterson and McKissick anyway.
I'm a big Malcolm Brown fan also.
Yep.
He moved from the Rams over to the Dolphins, and I actually think he's better than Gaskin.
Oh, I like that take. That's a hot one. Is that a hot one?
That is a hot one.
Well, it's a hot one.
Heads up, hot take coming through. Black Jesus wants to know, would you start Woods and Kupp at wide receiver and flex position in half point benches T. Higgins, Claypool, Sutton, and Galladay. So he's already got a wide receiver 1. He's thinking about starting Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp at wide receiver 2 and flex in half point. So he's going to go all in Rams wide receivers this week.
So I have go ahead, Shane.
No, man.
I mean, I have done this before. I went to a draft once and I took Robert Woods in the 4th, and then I saw Cooper Kupp there in the 5th. This was last year, and I took both of them, and they were my wide receiver 1 and 2. I won the championship that year. So I mean, I've done it. I don't necessarily 100% recommend it, but I mean that offense with Jared Goff supported 2 wide receiver 1s, and when Brandon Cooks was there, that was another wide receiver 1. So I mean that offense can support 3 wide receiver 1s. I don't see why not with a Matthew Stafford there.
So
take a moment. Sorry, Lucas.
I'm not. I was just going to say that I'm not certain that I would start both of them against Chicago this week. I might. That's tough.
But but like if you separate them, both of them are better than every receiver he has on his roster. But the problem is when you put them together, it becomes a little scary to do. That's
an embarrassment of riches at the receiver position. If he's looking for a wide receiver 2 and a flex out of that, that's his bench. He's in a pretty good position. I think there's an argument to be made for Claypool. We don't know who Tre'Davious White is going to be covering, and if that's Johnson or Smith-Schuster, then I think we could see a big game from Claypool. But the Rams are going to be a productive offense. You get 2/3 of their wide receiver output there. You could do worse, I think, than starting both of them.
What about Woods and Higgins? Minnesota's not a terrible matchup.
High floor, low ceiling, maybe?
You can definitely do it. I'm definitely not against it. Yeah, I'd probably have, like you said, Woods wide receiver 2, and then T. Higgins would definitely be a solid flex. I do think Kupp is better than T. Higgins, but starting 2 players on the same team definitely isn't comfortable.
I'd start Kupp over Woods for what it's worth. I think he's got a slightly high ceiling.
Okay. Now, is that specifically just for this matchup against the Bears, or do you think that will continue season long?
I think season long, Kupp's going to be the guy. But they're both going to be fantastic. They'll probably finish with 150 yards between them, but I like Kupp's touchdown upside a little bit more.
Even though Woods has more touchdowns?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
That's a primetime game too. I mean, you're putting all your eggs in one basket for Sunday Night Football, which isn't a bad thing. It's fun, but I mean, it could be stressful week 1. I don't know if you want to put yourself in that kind of stressful position yet, Black Jesus. But that's a lot of information to digest there. Jones 345 wants us to rate his team. Do you guys all have the Google Notes open so you can see this team? I have to read it. Okay. I'll give the listeners an idea of what it is. It's a 12-team full PPR. 12-team full PPR. He's got Zeke. I don't know. Oh, there. Mahomes, Ridley, Gus Edwards, T. Higgins. A lot of the players that we've already talked about and some questions here. So give this guy just a letter grade, I guess. We give him a letter grade or maybe a 1 out of 10. What do you think his final record's going to be? Let's do it that way. What's his final record with this team?
Okay, so let's see. Zeke, Calvin Ridley, Patrick Mahomes, Gus Edwards, T. Higgins, Claypool, Henderson, Corey Davis, Tyler Higbee, Trey Sermon, Totally Pollard, Rams defense, and then Harrison Butker is the kicker. Okay, so I
think it's a B+.
Yeah, I like it.
For a PPR. None of the running backs are PPR monsters by any means.
Yeah.
The wide receiving core is pretty good. Obviously, you can't really do much better than Mahomes. Higbee's decent. So, I mean, it's a good, solid team. It's not one that people, that everyone in the league is going to look at and just be like, oh my gosh, I'm not even going to watch football this week because I'm playing this team. But it's a good team that on any given week can beat any other team.
Yeah, you should go into your weeks pretty confident. I mean, Zeke is a little questionable, but I mean, you took him at 107, so it's not like you had a good pick to be able to maneuver around. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, B+. I like it.
I think this is a sub 500 roster. I don't think there's enough.
Really?
I think in PPR, I don't think there's enough as an RB2. And I don't think the wide receiver core is strong enough to compensate for that. I think it's sort of a middling roster all around. Like Zeke, obviously, should be a top 12 running back. Calvin Ridley could be the overall wide receiver one. Patrick Mahomes could be the QB one. I think it falls away very quickly there. I mean, Gus Edwards, obviously, drafted since the J.K. Dobbins injury. That's probably a bit of a reach in the fourth. You know, Higgins could be okay. Chase Claypool does have a high ceiling, but it falls away very quickly. I think there's a lot of like 10-point guys and not a lot of ceiling.
Yeah,
Jim, what would you do to fix it? Like if this was your team, and what would be the first like trade you would look for to do? Who would you get rid of?
I would be selling high if any of those running backs, your Gus Edwards, your Darrell Henderson, I don't even know if he's going to play this week, Trey Sermon, even if Tony Pollard gets more carries than you might expect, sell high on any of them after week one if they have a big week, and try and get maybe a higher, like a second RB. Maybe you could probably get Joe Mixon, someone like that, who's got a bit more of a locked-in workload. I know you hate him, Nada. And sort of just hope that between Higgins and Claypool, you can kind of graft out a pretty reliable top-end wide receiver 2, bottom-end wide receiver 1. But play that waiver wire. Terrace Marshall looked good, but he's still got 2 names ahead of him. We don't know what Darnold's going to look like in that offense. So if there are people who blow up, he would be a name that I possibly look to drop early. I really like him, but I'm not sure what his value is this year. Savon Ahmed might not see the light of day, unfortunately, so he's another one you could look for. Or maybe a streaming running back, or if you like a streaming wide receiver to come in and see if someone can hit and stick. Hopefully this guy can make some moves and start to get himself up. Maybe try and find a stack for Patrick Mahomes if you can get your hands on Hill or Kelsey or someone like that. They're not going to cost you a pretty penny, but I think in weak team stacks go a long way in winning close matchups.
If this was a 10-team league, I would say his team's not trash, or his team is trash. But because it's 12, I think like after the third round, there's not a lot of depth. I think we're kind of overestimating other teams on in the league.
Yeah, maybe see, was it one quarterback? I think there is a bit more depth than maybe we're giving it credit for. It's hard to know who was available when. You know, you're taking Darrell Henderson at 7 when Mike Davis was possibly available, something like that.
Well, if Darrell Henderson is available in the 7th, I think maybe this was pre-Cam Akers injury?
Can't be, because you've got Gus Edwards in the 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. But Darrell Henderson in the 7th.
Actually, it must be a big league. If he's drafting at the 218, maybe this is a better lineup than we're giving him credit for.
218. Yeah, this is the odd one. How is he drafting 218? If he's 1-7, how's he 218? Is my math wrong?
No, that's what he put, and he said it's a 12 team. So I'm not sure. Maybe he's just counting.
I think it's probably the 2. I think it's the 219.
Yeah, it would be the 219. So it's just slightly off. But yeah, I'm looking at this, and to draft Tony Pollard in the 11th seems a bit early for me. I don't know that I would hang on to him this early in the season. I don't think he would get scooped up on the waiver wire if you took a lottery ticket shot week 1 and grabbed, if there was a PPR running back that you could grab, just see what happens. You know, just have that rotating waiver spot if possible.
Yeah, I just think he has later play. I think he has Zeke. So Pollard I would keep and get rid of Ahmed or one of the later guys.
Yeah, you want to be able to secure that you're always going to have an RB1 if your guy goes down. I always tell people when you draft Dalvin Cook, you better take Alexander Madison.
Yeah, I think Pollard's one of the few true handcuffs in the league still.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there you go. We got It's the One has a question. I don't know why my screen is zooming in. I'm in a standard 12 with 5-point bonuses for players that get over 100 yards. Need some help with my wide receiver 2. Who would you recommend starting between Michael Pittman, Brandon Cooks, Devonta Smith, Elijah Moore, and Marcus Callaway? So let's do this for week 1. Who's going to crack the century mark week 1 here?
Callaway.
Callaway has the best chance, but I don't think he has a good chance.
I mean, none of them have a good chance.
No, none of them do. This is disgusting.
I like Pittman as a talent, but I still want to see some.
I think I chose
some
Brandon
wins
Cooks
action
to have
here
the
and see if he's going to be on the field.
Would it be beyond the realm of possibility to see Cooks get like an 11 for 101 and no touchdown game or something like that with all the trash that the Texans wheel out, or even Devonta Smith for maybe like a couple of long plays against the Falcons?
Yeah, I mean, Cooks could hit 100 yards on 5 catches, to be honest.
Yeah. I like Cooks the most.
That should be a pretty high scoring game, and it might be a bit like the bit like the Pro Bowl, high scoring with not a lot of defense. So.
I was going to say the trash bowl.
Why not, Brandon?
Yeah,
Cooks.
so okay, I'm good with Cooks. I like Callaway, but Cooks was a close second for me. So
Brandon Cooks it is. Phone lines are wide open, guys. If you want to call, the number is on the screen. If you're watching, 207-40-SLEEP, 207-407-5337. And you can call in right now. Phone lines are wide open. I was expecting Jesus to call. I would like to hear from Curtis. I'd like to hear from DJ. Who else would we like to hear from, Lucas? All the regulars. Gabe and Oswaldo.
Who's our Raiders? Who's our Raiders fan?
That's Jesus. He called last week.
That's Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, we don't like Raiders fans.
No, we love Jesus. We love Jesus. He's been a Raiders fan. His team's moved cities, and he's still a Raiders fan. I love that.
Yeah.
I think this might be his question here. I don't know what this is. Danger Zone 21. You get entrance music because you have a cool screen name. Do I make any changes? PPR league. Also, I need to drop one for an IDP spot. So you guys can see his lineup on the screen. I will give the listeners a quick rundown. Justin Herbert, James Robinson, Gus Edwards. We got Metcalf, Diggs. Pitts.
He called in.
This is Gabe.
Yeah.
Oh, this is Oswaldo. Okay. Never mind. Oswaldo's Danger Zone 21. Now I know I will give him the entrance music next time. So we already took care of that. All right, we're almost done. We could be done in 45 minutes here. Guys, call in. We need something to do. FFF 2021 PPR. I have Gibson and I have McKissick as a handcuff. However, I have Jonnu as my starting tight end. We already did this too.
We did that one too.
Gabe.
We did this one too. All right. Well, go ahead and get rid of that. What are you guys going to talk about on the Sleeper Wire show tonight that you're going to record in 15 minutes?
I think we're going to be doing some week 1 action, some not recap, and some preview and all that good stuff. I mean, it's football season. If you can't talk about week 1 right now, then I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, if you're not excited, I'm just not sure what's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
maybe little Scott Fish. Make sure to set your Scott Fish lineups if you haven't done that already.
I'm in the best ball one, so luckily I don't think I have to.
No, I think it takes care of that.
Okay, cool.
What is the gimmick this year? Is it because in previous years is tight end premium? Is it the same type of gimmick this year?
They brought kickers into it this year, and I think the rest of the scoring I think is more or less the same from last year, just adding a kicker.
Okay.
Yeah, you can flex kickers as well, so you can start multiple if you want. If you're a weirdo like Nada, who would probably do that.
That's something I do.
Yeah.
It's something I
might
have already done.
You can start up to 4 kickers.
No shit. Do they have weird scoring? Is it like are they super premium type?
No, they're projected lower actually from what it looked like 7 to 10 points.
Interesting. Okay, so they're like a safer play, but who knows? Wow.
I think it's one of these things where you, at the end of the season, read a thing. It's like, well, the kicker 1 was better than the tight end 4 or something like that. And you go, oh, well, that's interesting. I wish I'd known that in any of the leagues where I have no kickers.
Right.
I found a guy on Reddit the other day that does specifically defense kicker rankings. I'm going to see if I can get a hold of him and get him on one of the shows because I know people always have questions about defenses and kicker streaming and stuff. And this guy's just has perfected apparently the art of streaming those positions. Well, let's wait for a few more phone calls. Let me grab a couple questions here from the general question pool on Sleeper app. Guys, if you haven't joined us on our channel on Sleeper app, go to get that Sleeper app. Look for Sleeper Wire channel and join the channel. Also, Fantasy Football Club, Sleepwire Fantasy Football Club on Facebook. Look that up. Join the group. And on Twitter at Sleeperwire Show. All right, so here's a question. Who should I start at flex? Fournette, Gage, or Elijah Moore this week, first week? PPR.
Fournette, Gage, or Elijah Moore. You know, Fournette goes against the Cowboys. I feel like anytime an RB goes against the Cowboys.
Against my Cowboys, I like it. We don't have Zach Martin this week, so rest in peace. Not having our center against the Tampa defense, it's not going to be pretty.
I see Sheehan with a Tampa jersey. Is that?
Yeah, this is a Jameis Winston jersey from his 30-30 season.
You know what? I respect
that's
respectable. That is history.
I think we talked about this on the on our show. Now that I won this in a competition, and I this was when he played in London, and I think he threw 5 picks on the day or something like that, including his first pass of the day. So I thought I'd wear it in honor of the Bucs playing, obviously, to kick the season off tomorrow night.
There we go. I like to see it. I think we got some like YouTube questions. If I'm not blind.
Do we? Oh yeah, we do. Good call. All right, we got right here The Rock. Actually, I think I know who that is. I got his.
Shout out, Dwayne.
Yeah, I got.
The Rock is cooking.
All right, Dwayne Johnson wants to know, hey guys, PPR, choose a wide receiver and a flex. OBJ, Aguilar, Jamar Chase, Ruggs, Devonta Smith, Sermon, Lindsey, Jones, White. James White, sorry.
Got it. Okay. OBJ, and then let's see, a flex. God, that's still disgusting.
I think Henry Ruggs against Baltimore is half a chance.
I'd rather go Aguilar. I'd rather go the baby dropper.
Nah, I don't like his chances.
To drop a baby? No, that's a pretty high chance.
Oh, that's 100%.
Yeah,
if this is, he doesn't say whether it's a points per babies dropped league, but obviously if it is, Aguilar right at the top.
There you go.
That's gross.
That's gross.
Trey Sermon is interesting. The 49ers have a pretty good matchup this week.
Yeah, if it was Raheem Mostert, I'd be licking my chops right now. Trey Sermon, I still don't feel comfortable with him. People that have rosters like these really need to tune into our show where we did all our mock drafts and then we kind of like divided everything up where we said, oh, instead of taking him, take this, because these people lineups are disgusting.
You'd like to think if they're listening to this, they do listen to the show, so maybe we're not as good as we think we are.
We never told people to take Henry Ruggs or Devontae Smith or Sherman or James White.
I think I'd go Chase.
Yeah, speaking of drops.
And Jamar Chase.
OBJ and Jamar Chase, The Rock. There you go. DAJ has a question. Tannehill or Cousins week 1?
Tannehill. Every day of the week. All 17 games.
Ooh. Who have they got? They got Cardinals.
Yeah, I think I think Cousins has a pretty decent start to the season, if I'm not mistaken.
I still take Tannehill.
Yeah, me too. Dalvin's a monster. They want to run the ball.
Yeah, I was going to say, shout out to our friends in the South. I'm going to take Cousins.
All right. Dan Rice, I am being offered Ayuk, James Conner, and a 2022 fourth for Higgins and Mike Davis, half-point dynasty. What are your thoughts on this trade?
Okay, Ayuk. Okay, I can handle that. James Conner and a 2024th. 2022nd fourth for that's basically like a trash player. I don't even count that.
Okay, so would you rather have Ayuk or Higgins?
Ayuk.
And then Connor or Mike Davis.
Okay, let's see. Would I either have James Conner or Mike Davis? This is Dynasty.
I think if you're contending, Higgins and Davis. If you're rebuilding, actually probably Higgins and Davis.
I like James Conner more than Mike. Actually, I hate them both equally.
Mike Davis is going to give you a better chance to win your games this year, but he's not going to have long-term value.
But I still think Ayuk is better than Higgins.
Yeah, long term. So
I think I'd rather have Higgins. I think Higgins and Davis for me, just because I don't think that there's.
That's a tough one.
Well,
it is tough.
Higgins will either be a 1 with Joe Burrow,
there's still
or a 2 behind Jamar Chase. Well, I think Boyd will be out of town after this year. If we're looking long term.
And do we ever think
Ayuk
that?
Is still like,
yeah, but I mean, are they ever going to get away from the run game?
Yeah,
and
Trey Lance is
looking
just
at
going to
Ayuk
enhance
being.
that.
Yeah, and Ayuk, he's still, to me, who's going to get more targets, Ayuk or Kittle?
And Deebo Samuel is back, and if he's fit, then he and Ayuk are sharing the same gadget plays as well.
Yep. I don't know. Give me Higgins and Davis, because I just don't think that James Conner is going to matter. Neither Conner or Mike Davis are going to matter long term, but Mike Davis is going to give you more this year, and the fourth doesn't matter.
Yeah, the fourth.
And Higgins versus. Give me Higgins.
A fourth is one of those things you throw in if you're using a trade calculator, and you're like, "Look, see, the points are even."
Yeah, exactly. Hello, that gets a no, senor. That's a no trade.
No, senor! No, senor! No, senor!
All right, and then finally we got the Stan T, who simply says, "Hey guys, hey guys,
hey Stan,
what's up,
guys? Stan,
Hello, good to hear from you." The phone lines are open for about 30 more seconds, guys. If you have any last minute questions, if you did listen to the show or you're listening on recording and the phone number isn't working, you can send us questions several different ways. You can go to sleeperwire.com. There is a form on there. You just fill it out and it shoots it straight to the email. We'll try to answer your questions via email. Also, you can find us on Twitter, of course, at Sleeperwire Show. All right, I guess that's it. I don't see any more calls. We don't have any more questions in the queue. And we've only got, I think, 2 of our mothers are watching, it seems like. There's 2 viewers right now. Everybody's dumped off. So let's go ahead and wrap it up for the day. Appreciate you guys tuning in. It's going to get better, talent. Don't worry, okay? Like, once we get into the season, there will be many more phone calls. It's week 1. Everybody thinks they know what they're doing right now. Just wait till it gets to about week 4. And you're 1-3, and you're like, oh boy, what was that phone number again? I need to call my Sleeperwire guys, get a little help. Curtis will call in, and everything will be okay. I appreciate everybody listening. I appreciate Natter joining us, and Sheehan as well. They are off to record a new podcast right after this. It'll be out in a couple of days. Lucas, once again, thank you for joining us. You can find these guys on Twitter. You can find Lucas at Sleeperwire LBB. You can find Sheehan at Sheehan Solo. And you can find Natter at Top Tier Tactics _. I am producer Steve, and I am wrapping up the show now with the Sleepwire outro music. Like I said, guys, follow us on Twitter at Sleepwire Show, Facebook groups, Sleepwire Fantasy Football Club, and, of course, Sleepwire channel on the Sleeper app. Get that app. It is the best app for updates, news, and actually really good live tracking scoring as well, if you're not using it for your fantasy league. All right, we'll be back next week, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Sleepwire Network for the Mailsack. Good luck week 1, guys. Enjoy the start of the 2021 season.